Yeah, hi there. These comments, I'm going to just use your initials N, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the online TOEFL course, the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT, and you completed integrated speaking practice test number 1. So let us hear what you have to say.
The reading passage and the speaker shows 2 examples about advertising effects on.
I would say there's show, not shows, but let me check again.
The reading passage and the speaker shows 2 examples.
No, you want to say show 2 examples because you have a compound subject, so the verb should be plural, not singular. So that's a subject-verb agreement issue.
Example about advertising effects on people's behavior. The reading passage is about how the advertising affect people's behavior because there are so many.
No. You want to start off with a little bit of a broader idea. So, according to the reading passage, advertising affects people's behavior politically. So start off with the bigger idea and then move to your detail information.
TV and radio today.
Now the other thing is, you want to work on varying your intonation more than you are. So you're speaking in a monotone, right? You don't want to do that. So when you're speaking English, you have to work on varying your intonation. So how do you do it? Go to pronunciation lessons 36 through 40, all of which will help you to learn to vary your intonation of American English. And I have specific practice exercises. You can read some sentences and some paragraphs. You can record your voice and even compare your recording to the practice exercises in those lessons. So make it a priority. You need to improve your pronunciation. That's something I'm going to look for in the next few practice tests. I want to pay attention to see what kinds of improvements you can make in this area.
That make people cannot live without watching TV or listening to radio.
It will. Let's go back to what you just said there.
People cannot live without watching TV or listening because there are so many TV and radio today. That make people cannot live without.
It will make people, you can't say make people cannot live. That's wrong because you want to say make people unable to live. That's how I would say that. So it makes people unable to live without these influences. So again, you don't want to say cannot there. So that's a language use error. Now, in my opinion, write down the comments I'm giving you. Put them into what you can call a speaking journal. Right? I'm giving you some comments about pronunciation. I'm also giving you some comments about grammar and vocabulary, and I'm also giving you comments about organization. So start jotting down what some of your issues are, and as you continue to do practice tests in this class, you try to overcome some of those issues. The first step is for you to become aware of what your problems are. Then the second step is to try to overcome or eliminate some of those issues.
TV or listening to radio. Also, the advertising can affect the politician side. The advertising can help people vote for a candidate that they like it. The speaker shows another effect of advertising. The advertising affects people.
It was a little bit weird what you did there. So at the very end, you talk about how it can affect people's behavior politically, but you should have put that as a topic sentence near the beginning of that party response. So that was a little confusing. Then you made a transition and you started to talk about the information in the lecture. So a little bit confusing how you did that.
Here shows another effect of advertising. Advertising affects people in economic way.
That's right. So I like that. You stated when you moved to the information in the listening, you stated a good topic sentence which clearly mentioned the main point there was the economic effects of advertising on consumers' behavior.
For instance, people will buy particular brand of toothpaste that they saw it in advertised.
Now wait a minute. It's not that they saw it. You can't do that. That's a language use
For
error.
instance, people will buy particular brand of toothpaste that they saw it in.
You want to say that they saw. Once you're using that, that takes the place of toothpaste or the brand of toothpaste. There's no need to now use it. That's an unnecessary preposition there. Now, if you have trouble with that, go to the grammar part of my course. I'd like you to take a look at adjective clauses. And you want to practice forming those adjective clauses and make sure when you're forming them, you're not using the prepositions in there. Now also, if you have more questions, you can go to your grammar book and you will also see there's a good chapter on adjective clauses. What you want to do is to stop putting that unnecessary pronoun at the end of the adjective clause, because that's a language use error in both speaking and writing. All right, let's keep going.
Advertise. Finally, the speaker says that consumers should be more alert of what's good or not good. In conclusion, the reading passage and the speaker have same issues, and it's all about the effect on advertising in a politician and economic on people's life.
Now, you had a lot of trouble at the end with your language use. You want to say, finally, according to the reading and the listening passage, advertising has political and economic effects on people's behavior. So say it something like that. Okay, so what do we got? Like I said, with pronunciation, I think one of the main issues right now for you is intonation. You really need to make progress in that area. So like I said, pronunciation lessons 36 through 40. I think also thought groups and blending, that's pronunciation lessons 41 through 44. You need to make improvements in both those areas if you want to speak more clearly. Language use, a lot of problems in there, so you have to be careful. I gave you some suggestions there. Language use also, I showed you how you can frame it a little bit more directly or explicitly around the task. In the beginning of the response, you want to state the topic very clearly, perhaps by saying, the reading and the listening passage discuss the political and economic effects of advertising. Then you talk about the reading passage. Then you talk about the listening passage. So I think you can make some improvements there also. Your score here, you can't score in the 3 range with your problems right now, so it's going to be pretty much impossible there. I'm going to put you in the 2 range. I'm going to put you at 2.16 out of 4, 17 points out of 30 on this practice test. That is your score that I'm going to put in there. Now, what does that mean for in grade? If you look at in grade, I gave you 2.16. That's going to put you at 75% on this assignment. So what do? How do you get better? Well, you got to make some improvements with pronunciation, grammar, and also how you're organizing your information. If you can make improvements in those 3 areas, you will be able to score higher. All right?